Hi everyone, Narelle here, and this is the first video in a series of videos I'm going to be doing using this Country Fair gorgeous paper from Mintay. And I have decided to do a series because I wanted to scrap a large event with this paper. So I've picked out some photos and I plan to use the whole collection and just this collection. I'm not going to mix any other papers in with it. I will mix other embellishments and die cuts and other things because I only have this packet of 12 by 12 card paper, and I want to see how I can go with using this and creating lots of pages. So this is the beautiful Country Fair. Like I said, it's absolutely gorgeous and a really lovely thick weight paper. So that is the front page that comes in the pack, and then on the back you get all these embellishments that you can fussy cut out, or if you have a Brother scan and cut machine, cut them out. And I'll be doing that, and they will be my pile of embellishments that I'll be using on all my pages, plus incorporating other things. For example, flowers. I might have some stamps or some other dies that will cut out things, other vegetables or greenery, other things that can work with this range. Okay, so I'll come back to these two sheets at the end. Right, so what I've picked out is a group of photos for each of the pages. Now, it's taken me a long time to get out of the fact that my photos don't need to match my paper, or my paper doesn't need to match my photos. So I would have looked at this photo, you know, years and years ago and gone, well, I need blue and yellow as my paper because that's what's in my photo. No, it doesn't. You can make anything work, any paper work with any paper. It's all in the embellishments and what you use along with the paper. And you're telling a story, so you know people aren't worried anymore about the matchy-matchy, they're worried about the story. So there's lots of blue in these photos. So these are the photos that I have chosen for this layout. Now, just because I've chosen the one piece of paper, beautiful wood grain, it's got like a minty colour in with the wood grain. Just because I've chosen the one piece of paper doesn't mean that it has to be a single page layout. I can cut this paper in various different ways to do a double page spread. And with these photos, I may trim them down a little bit. I have, you know, this one I can trim down, trim out these people here, and that because I just want the fun at the fair, I think I'm going to call this page. And it's just the different things that you see and sights and things you can do at the fair. Now, this is not traditionally a fair. It's the Sydney Royal Easter Show at Sydney in 2000 and actually don't know when, 2008, 2009. I have to look up the dates. Actually, it might be 2010. And I just grabbed all the photos from there, and I'm going to make all the pages on that event, but they're all going to have different titles and stuff, and sort of all go together, if that makes sense. So use the whole collection to make lots of pages on the one event. So this one's fun at the fair, and I can trim off a cow here, I can trim off some of these people. I just wanted to capture iconic things at the Royal Easter Show. So you've got the rides, the side show alley, the animals, and fun stuff like this, like the painted cows. Alright, so that's that layout. Yeah, layout done. No, I'm going to come back, and in this first video I'll choose one of these layouts to come back and complete, and then I'll do a video for each layout after that. So it's going to be, like I said, a series. Alright, so that's the first one. Then I'm using this green crackle medium, I guess you'd call it, background paper. And these are the photos I plan to use on this. This one has a little bit of green in the photos. And again, this could very well be a double page spread. But this is our smiling faces and the fun that we're having. So title might be Fun Day Out, or something like that. So that's that page. Then I'm going to use this beautiful check paper for the Dodgem cars for my husband and my son that went on the Dodgem cars. And then there are a couple of rides that my kids went on. They're not big ride takers, so just going to use that paper for these photos. And then of course this gorgeous, gorgeous paper, absolutely stunning. And these are our souvenirs, the things the kids like the best out of their show bags and stuff they bought. Cowgirl and Soldier Man, that was so them. And of course I had to wear the hat because it's a really cool hat. So that's those photos. And then for this paper with all the fruit and vegetables and stuff in it, I picked out a few of decorated pumpkins. It was just a display they had in the produce hall where they have all the different regions that do the displays. And these are really cool, the painted themed pumpkins. So that's going to be another page. I don't know what the heading on that's going to be yet. And this, I love this floral. Look at that, it is stunning. So ice cream faces for this page. Wood chopping, beautiful barn door. I love the wood chopping at the Easter show. It's my favourite thing. So of course I have to do a page on it because I absolutely love it, always have. And I could sit there for hours watching the wood chopping, but everyone else in the family gets bored after 5 minutes. So, and then the cakes. The other thing I love about the Easter show is the cakes. I can't decorate cakes to save myself, but I love going and looking at the talents and what people can do. So I've just got a few photos of those, and that's quite a busy paper. So this one I may very well like cut in half and have that down the bottom of the double page, or I could use just half of it and then use the other half on another layout. So I'll probably choose the layout first to do is the one, for example, like this, where I'm only going to possibly use half the paper or less than half the paper, and then that frees up the rest of the paper, this side and the other side, to use on one of the other layouts. So I'll start with one like this where I'm not going to use the whole sheet in the layout. And then this one with all the produce on it is, like I said, that produce haul, which I absolutely love. That's one of my favourite things as well, where you have all the regional displays. Now I printed all these out. Some of these I may not use, some I'll trim down because I don't want, you know, all these people in my photo. So I could trim it down to just get that bit and trim off a little bit at the top for all these. That is so cool. That's like a salmon made from corn or something. Really cool. I love these displays, always have. So they are definitely going to make my display. And there's my focus photo because that was, I think, made out of wool. It was so, so clever. So that's using that paper. And then this one, I think this is the last, yeah, this is the last one. Fairy floss face. Had to get this one in. Just what a mess. So, and again with this paper, because I want to feature the wheel and the flowers, I may cut this in half that way or cut it down this way and then use another paper. If I want to have a full 12 by 12 of patterned paper, I could use another one on this side or just find a cardstock that's a similar colour. So I make this a double page spread, or I can trim these down a little bit, and like, you don't need to see her legs really, and you know, chop a bit off the top. And same with this one, I don't have to have hubby's face in there, I don't want those people in there, I could chop that off. So you're just focusing on her face and the right mess that she's getting into. Look at that face, oh my goodness. Alright, so they're the pages that I plan on doing. And even though I don't have a lot of embellishments, I do have these two sheets. So these are, and I think I've taken off, there we go, taken off the strips down the bottom already. And these are really good embellishments. So there's 4, 8, 12 to each page. So I'm going to cut all these out. So I'm going to have 24 different embellishments I can use on my pages. And then I've also got the strips. Now some companies on these strips down the bottom will actually put patterns on one side. But Mintay put their name, or the name of the collection, in the middle. So I have two little, not titles, but two word embellishments I can use on my pages as well. So look at your branding strips, don't throw them away. If they're got a name of the collection that you can use in your pages, then use it. If they're patterned on the other side, then use it. Do not throw them away. I have a whole folder here of branding strips and stickers and stuff, but there's lots of branding strips in here. I've covered them with other stuff. But there's branding strips here, like this is a Kaiser Craft, and it's got the beautiful flowers on it. The other side has that it's from the English Rose collection, Kaiser Craft. That's got to be old. That's probably like in early 2000s or something. It's the English Rose collection from Kaiser Craft, the colours, all that, and then turn it over and you've got a beautiful strip of roses that you can use on a layout. So if you don't already, make sure you use and look at those branding strips, because they're free embellishments, really. Alright, so I will come back with another layout. I'll choose one to start with and we'll take it from there. Okay, so I wanted to jump back in and let you know that even though I haven't cut this sheet apart yet, I have so many embellishments that I can use. Here's a whole tray of embellishments. Now I did cut apart the other sheets that I showed you that had these like frames and other rectangle embellishments. So I've cut all them apart. But what I also have is all this. Now I went through my boxes of embellishments that I have and I keep them color coded. So whenever I finish with something, I pop it in the box of that color, and it could be anything. It could be a tag left over from a card kit. It could be, for example, if I don't use all these embellishments and I have some left, I'll pop the leftover into the box of that color, rather than try and keep bits and pieces together with the scrapbook paper. Particularly if I use a lot of the collection, I don't have much left. The little bits and pieces get lost, so I put them in the color coded boxes. So I went through all my boxes and this is the whole tray of embellishments I came up with. Now I'm not going to be short of embellishments, and you might look at some of these and go, well, that's an orange starburst. How is that going to go with my layouts? First of all, I would cover this bit up. So I would tuck this under a photo, and I just might need a pop of orange somewhere. So I'm just going to have this bit showing under a photo or a layer on the page, and there's my pop of orange that I need. So same with this, like these flowers or this sort of pattern here does not match the mood and feel of what I'm trying to do, but the green border can be used, or a little bit of this with the colour orange there, a little bit showing, just gives you a little element. Same with these leaves. Tuck this under something, or cut it in half and tuck it under the edge of something. Can cut these leaves out. Lots of different things. And as I was going through my boxes, I came across a few photo corners, which prompted me that I have this punch that I can make photo corners out of anything. So I just wanted to run through these quickly to give you an idea of the things that you can find in your stash that are not necessarily from this range, or none of this is from this range except that first ones I showed you are cut out. But things that can go with what you're trying to scrap with. So this is the mood and feel of the paper, and I've just got these greens, even these leaves, sorry, green leaves. They're left over from a card kit, so they will definitely work. Tuck them in somewhere. Circle with a green edge, definitely can be used. All these leaves, vellum leaves, lots and lots of things. And I haven't even looked at my sticker binders, my dies, my stamps. And I probably won't, because I think I've got enough here that will get me through. green striped. It's just a card front from a card kit. Again, I use it as a layering piece, or I can punch something out of it. And the green is in the paper. Here is, this is really old. I don't know how old this is, but it's green spotty. And if you look at some of these green elements, they're a dark green. It doesn't have to be an exact match. Now, I'm not going to use the middle bit to light in the little things, but it's just in there. I can pop it out, and then I can use the edge of it under something. Again, with this piece, it's the green that I was going for. This one, a different green again, but it still goes with the papers. So I don't have to use the no, maybe, yes. I can just, again, cut the edge of it. This could be a title on a page. It had the right colours. It had the brown, the yellow, and the red, and this really light mint, which is in some of the papers. So that could be a title. This is an old border with no glue whatsoever left on it. But it's the right colour. It will go with the paper. So I went through all my different colours. So they're the greens, oranges. I don't have much orange. So a few orange things. I might not even use, even use an eighth of this. But I've got it. And it's all in the colours that are that's in the paper. So again, use the edge, tuck it under. Again with the red spots. I had just some tags that I had die cut and left over. Some tags with a yellow border. There's yellow in some of these papers. Or there's orange and the yellow will blend with the papers. So that's my yellow pile. And then browns. There's brown in some of the papers. So, and the barn door paper. Use brown on that. So I've got some wood chip elements here. Lots and lots of different things. Some tiny little tags with words on them. Love my life, remember, enjoy, never forget, little story, perfect day, this day, us. Some just brown little elements. What's it say? Remember, memories, keep calm. That would be great on the Dodgems page. Lots of different tags and embellishments. I was just picking out colours of things, really. Some more chipboard, no, what are they? Corrugated cardboard. Some chipboard frames. Just, so that's the browns that I picked out. Some foliage. Some wood grain. And then I went through the white box. All different sorts of shapes. Some photo corners. Some vellum leaves. Different circles to use as bases for embellishment clusters. Lots of die cut pieces. Flowers, some daisies that are punched out and left over from something. Lots and lots of things. I found this frame. I thought, maybe I could use that, maybe not, but I put it in here anyway. So, and what I don't use from this will just go straight back into the boxes when I'm finished. Alright, and then some blues. So, remember when I was talking about some of these layouts, the photos are blue. Let me just find one as an example. Alright, the wood chopping one. Alright, so I've got some blue elements I can use on this paper, on this page. So I found some blue elements there. Again with the one with the boys in the Dodgem cars, I think, if I can find that one. And this one. Alright, I can incorporate blue on here because there's blue in my son's shirt. So I thought, well, I'll find some blue elements as well. So then all the blue, and there's some cool ones here I can use for headings. You have such a boyish charm. Doesn't have to all be about the Royal Easter Show. Hi honey, that would be good for the wood chopping page. I can cover up the hi honey and just use this half. It looks like a wood grain, like a tree. Okay, I found a banner, a flag. That's like a fair theme, so I could cut that out and use that. And then the pink for my daughter's page with the fairy floss. I found lots of pink embellishments that I could use. Some flowers, lots of little pieces that I can tuck under for different layers. Use the edge of this, happy day, use this tag. I can cover this if I don't want this. I just want the pink tag, and then I can put other things over it to cover the words. So that's all the embellishments I'm going to be working with, as well as cutting out the ones from this sheet, and I'll be back with the first page. Okay, I'm back, and this is the first page that I'm doing with the Country Fair collection by Mintay. And what I wanted to do for this first page is use this gorgeous piece of patterned paper. But with papers like this, sometimes they can be way too busy. So what I did was I gutted the paper and had a 1.5 inch margin all the way around, and then the reverse side I just turned over, sorry, that middle bit I turned over and used the reverse side. So I'm still getting a representation around the side of that gorgeous patterned paper. You can still see the vegetables down here and the flowers, and it's still really pretty. And because my photos I'm using have a lot of blue in them, and this paper doesn't, I wanted to incorporate a little bit of blue, or the bluish tones. They're also in the sky in the paper. So I took an 1/8 of an inch off all the way around and mounted it on a plain piece of cardstock to bring in that colour even more, and it just adds a lovely frame. I love having a plain background behind my patterned paper. I think it just puts a nice edge and border to it and brings everything in. So these are the photos, and I'm not going to mat them, because if I did, I would take up too much of that pattern paper I've got in the square, and you really wouldn't see much of it. So I'm trying to work out how I had these photos, and I have a feeling I put them around the wrong way, but I think that one was there. Something like that. Alright, so I already had to play with this so that I could work out where everything was going to go. And I did take a photo of it, and then forgot to print the photo out. So I designed everything, laid everything out, because you don't want to sit through that process. It does take a long time. So I roughly worked out where everything was. I took a photo, but it's on my phone that I'm recording with, so I have to just go by memory here. So, you know, forgive me if it doesn't turn out the way, you're not going to know, but the way I had it in my head. Alright, it looks like I need a new trimmer blade because that photo is a bit chopped. Actually, I used a guillotine for that. Hope that's not going blunt. It's getting a bit... Do guillotines go blunt? I guess they would. But I found when trimming photos, it makes the blade of your trimmer go flat really, really fast. So if you have a guillotine, now I have a little one. It's actually my late father's. Got it from his house. And it's just, I don't even know what brand it is. Looks like Fiskars because it's got the orange colours on it, but it's got no brand anywhere on it. He would have got this from Officeworks, no doubt. Yeah, so I just use a guillotine to cut my photos because the blades in your trimmer will go flat really, really quickly if you use a normal trimmer. So try not to do that. Alright, so these are where I had the photos, and I had them all butted up together. Alright. And then for my heading, I saw this in my stuff that I had got out of all my colour boxes. Time to just relax, be free, fun, be together. And that was a perfect analogy for this day. We were so relaxed, we had lots of fun together. So I want that to be my title. Now it is quite prominent, so it's going to take up this bottom corner, and that's where I'm going to sit it. Now I don't want it over my husband's face or my daughter, but that was the photo that had the least in this bottom left corner that was going to get covered. So that's why I chose that photo for that spot. This, I don't want to cover up all the vegetables down here, although I think I'm going to cover them with other stuff. So we'll see how we go. But I think I had that there. Alright. So I know I had, I'm just looking at all my elements I've got on the side. I wanted to bring in this pool party over here, and I'm pretty sure I had this just tucked in there. Not pool party. See, my old Stampin' Up! Colours still in my brain. And that is pool party cardstock. So I guess, you know, old habits die hard. I think I tucked this blue tag up here somewhere. And then I had another beige tag on top of that. I'm just looking at all my elements I've got here and I can't remember where I put everything. I know I had the country fair up there. See, that's from the branding strip. I have one here. So this is from the branding strip that I said you could reuse. I just cut one down and popped that in there. What else did I have? I think I had a navy blue because I wanted to bring in a bit of the blue, but I didn't want it to be like a blue that was going to contrast with the here we go, I'm going to say another Stampin' colour, like balmy blue. It's like a mid-range blue. I thought that would not go well with the pool party colour, so I've used a navy blue. And I had, pretty sure I had this tucked down here. I had some vegetables down here. Of course, you know, country fair, and it's the country comes to the city, so I still wanted to represent that. I know I had a navy blue. I didn't want to see the end of the tag, so I put a navy blue oval up there to cover that hole in the tag. And when you're putting different elements around, the rule of thumb is to do a visual triangle of your elements. So once I get this lined up properly, right, so I now have a visual triangle of my navy blue there, and in this strip down here. I need a visual triangle of, wait, I've lost a heart, no I haven't. I need a visual triangle of that beigey colour. So I'm going to put one here and one down here. So we've got a beigey triangle. I'm just going to put that there. I think that's where I had it. I'm not really sure. Alright, and then I was going to put the word enjoy down here. And just pop that heart there so they're all sort of touching and overlapping. Then I thought, well, let's carry some vegetables over here. So I put this, I don't know what that is, cos lettuce or something, up there. And then I needed a vegetable over here because I got vegetables here, vegetable here. Now I need a vegetable over here. So I was just going to have that little, is that a orange capsicum out there. Then I had lots of vellum leaves in my stash. Wait, I've got another heart. I think I was going to do the heart up here. Up there. Alright, and then these vellum leaves, I felt it just needed something more. So what I had was a larger leaf and two smaller ones in a bundle. And it doesn't really matter how they're arranged. And I just tuck them under in different places. There's one bundle there. And then another bundle. Up here. Tucking it under the tags. And then one more. I've got some extra leaves here. But I only wanted to do 3 in each spot. Okay, and then another bundle. Where do I have it down here? Oh, I don't know, I can't remember. I don't want it up there. I had it down here somewhere, but I'm not really sure where I had it, so I don't want it to go over anything in the photo, so I guess just there. Alright, and then I just wanted to put some adhesive back sequins. So I've got these blue ones. They're the Stampin' Up! Artistry Blooms Adhesive Sequins, and blue is the right colour because I'm trying to bring out the blue because there's predominant blue in the photos. I mean, there's pink as well, but there's probably a lot more blue in this photo. Alright, so that's going to be the page. So you can still see the bones of that beautiful paper around the edge, and you can still see the crackle paper as well. It just tones things down a little. Like, I know this is a busy page because there's lots around the border, but I've kept the embellishments to a minimum because the border is really busy. But rather than use the whole of that patterned paper as is, I made the square in the middle, and then you could see this paper which tones it down a little bit. Now if I had only used 3 photos, you'd see more of that paper, but I wanted to use these 4 photos. So you don't see a lot of this paper, but it is still there in little pieces. Alright, so now, fingers crossed, cross your fingers for me, and I'll try and put all this together. And then I'll show you my steps in how I just glue everything in place. So I'm going to move the sequins aside, put them somewhere so I don't forget that I'm going to use them. Have a sip of coffee, hang on. Now, what I tend to do is, because my elements are in 3 spots, I'll move them and keep them in 3 spots. So the things up on this corner that I have together, I'm just going to pile together. If I can pick them up. Alright, and move them over to the left at the top. These things I'm going to move over to the right and make a little bit more room here. And then these elements are going to go over bottom left of my desk. Going to see my new, I don't know if I had this when I filmed the first parts of these videos, because I've done this video over about 3 days. I put a new contact down on my desk for filming, and I love it. You can see there's a few things here, a few bubbles, but anyway, they're not going to worry me. But it's really nice to work on, and doesn't it suit the theme so well? These papers, it's gorgeous. Right, so I keep my photos in order. I do the top row left to right, followed by the next row left to right, and I keep them aside. And now comes the fun bit. First thing I'm going to glue on is this beautiful background. Alright, so to work out how to do this square, you can see the pencil, I don't know if you can see the pencil lines here. I didn't rub them out because they're on the back. So what I did was I worked out roughly, okay, I want sort of that size square in the middle. So I took my ruler and I went, okay, so I want like, whoops, and I work in inches, so sorry if you are a metric person, but I've always worked in inches. Alright, so I've taken it and gone, I want 9.5 inch square in the middle. So 9.5 minus 12 is 1.5, was when I went to school. So I just measured in 1 and, no, it must be bigger, 1.25, 1 and something. Oh gosh. I measured in from the side all the way around, drew my lines, cut it out. Then I went, I really want it to be backed with a piece of plain cardstock. So then I took off the same amount around each side, and I think it was probably about 1/8 of an inch I took off around each side. And then the only thing when doing this is that you have to make sure that your lines are perfectly straight and not at an angle at all, because when you take this piece out and turn it around, if your lines are not straight, it will not sit in nicely. It will be overlapping on a corner and not sitting straight or something like that. I know my paper at one stage slipped, so I know mine is not all that symmetrical, but it is what it is. And no one's going to notice. You know, if I don't tell them, no one's going to know. Alright, so just going to put tape on the back. And then I come back in later with glue on the corners and things. Now this tape, I must say, got to buy some more. This has been in my stash for quite a few years, and I don't think it's terribly sticky anymore. It's sticky enough that if I was to try and lift something up it would tear, but I don't think long term it's going to be terribly sticky and got much staying power. So I've had it quite a while, but it's good to use as well as glue. It just helps you put things in place, and then I come back in later and glue the corners and things. Right, now I'm lining this up the best that I can. I'm not measuring, I just eyeball. But I think that's pretty even all the way around. If it's not, then it was meant to be. So now I'm just going to sit that in there. You can see mine doesn't match perfectly up here because I know one of my lines, my paper moved a little bit, but mostly going to be covered the joins anyway. So look at that, that is beautiful. So if you didn't want to use this bit of paper in here, okay, say you didn't want to use that, and you could just use this frame, add your photos and embellishments, and that would be perfectly okay. So if you want to conserve paper, you can actually keep this for another layout. So I can get 2 layouts out of this one bit of paper, but I wanted to use this bit of paper. But let's just wait, let's just try that. Let's stick this tape somewhere, and I want to see if possibly I could do that. Could I use that bit of paper on another layout? Let's just see what this layout looks like without that paper in the middle, and I might actually like it more. You just never know. Maybe it won't be as busy with that paper. Let's give it a go. Alright, so I'm just going to put all my elements back in their places. An extra leaf again. How do I do that? Gosh. My love heart and my word. And I've got a spare leaf again. I must have had 4 there or something. Who knows? Oh, sorry. I got sniffles. My tags. My title. My oval, my whatever it is, cabbage, lettuce, something like that. Where do I have these? Up here? Something like that. You know what? I think I'm liking this more. It's not as busy, hey? Which means I have a bonus piece of cardstock paper I can get another layer out of. Brilliant. So just because I designed it a specific way before doesn't mean it has to stay that way. Whoops. Oh my gosh. So I'm still getting that paper. You can still see it. But I don't have all the busyness in the middle. I think that is actually better. What do you reckon? I know you can't answer me, and you're probably all yelling at the screen and going, no, I like the other one in the middle better, but I actually like this better, I think. So I now have a bonus piece of paper. I love this paper. It is so thick. It's excellent weight scrapbooking paper. Love it. So this I can use on another layout. I can put one photo here and put it on a plain piece of cardstock, put the photo embellishments, and that I can also embellish around the side, because when I put that on cardstock, I've got all that around the side that I can play with. Brilliant. I love that. Cool. On a bonus piece of cardstock. Very good. That's what I'm going to do. But going back to my original idea, if you want a full like 12 by 12 paper and this page is way too busy for you, the other sides normally are a much calmer pattern, a more neutral, I guess, pattern. So that's a really good tip, that if your paper's too busy, cut a square out, turn it over, and it's a much more neutral paper, but you're still getting that beautiful pattern around the edges. So I'm going to do that. Okay, sorted. Bonus, I love stretching my supplies, so that is even better that I can do that. Love it. Whoops. It's still going to give me the like mood and feel and the look I was going for. It's just not as busy, I guess. Right, and then these over here. Rightio. Oops, left a leaf. These leaves, they're everywhere. Left a leaf behind. Okay, so I'm going to start with this photo. Now, some people mark where their photos go. So if they have it lined up exactly where they want it to be, they'll get a pencil and mark where it goes. Yeah, that to me, I don't. I mean, you know, it doesn't take any extra effort. I don't measure things, so why would I start lining things up? So I'm not measuring this. I'm not even getting my T-square out to see if that's straight. I'm just sticking it on. So you're not going to be watching my channel for perfectly lined up pages, but it's all about getting your photos out, getting them scrapped, getting them in albums for people to pull off the shelf and have a look at. Whoops, we don't have that upside down. And recording the story, like Janet says at RTS, it's all about recording the story. And I went through a phase where it was all about the embellishments. It really didn't matter about the photo. So I did a lot of layouts where there was one photo, lots of embellishments, and a title. If someone looked at that, they had no idea what time it was, they had no idea who was in the photo, they had no idea what the story was about unless they were there. And I even look back on some of those pages now and go, I've got no idea when that was. So that's, to me, at the time, that's what it was all about. It was all about the pretty embellishments. It was nothing at all to do with the story. Did I have that there? I don't know. See, I should have... I can overlap that one. That's okay. And then I've got a gap. I could put something in the middle. I could find something to put in the middle. Do I? Oh, I don't know. See, I don't know how I had them lined up now. I could do that. Who cares about that? Come on. I'd much rather than lined up. I don't want to have to go and get off my seat and find something else to put in the middle there. I am a lazy scrapper. It's got to be close at hand or it ain't going to get used. So I find that when I'm doing a page, I have to get everything out that I want to use before I start planning like a page. Because I get halfway through it and then go, oh, I really need something for up here. So I don't want to have to go and find something else. It's just going to annoy me. So let's not do that. Now hopefully I haven't put the tape too far up on those photos so I can still stick down the tag and tuck things under. I wasn't even thinking about that when I was just taping. I was too busy talking. Alright, so my tag is just going to sit up here. Now that's as far as it will go down because I've got tape there. I don't know if I move it. There we go. What if I do that? I still want to see that paper up there around the border. Next was the phone tag. Now I'm just going to see if it's got any slubby bits because this was cut out of a sheet. They have the little cardboardy bits that stick out. So I just trim that off, make it look nice. I don't have to worry about this edge because it's going to get tucked onto anyway. Okay, that's going to just slide there. Now, put my oval in here. Before I stick it down, I just want to place it. So I can get that covered. Yep, it's good there. Okay, now our country fair from our branding strip. And I think the other side is nicer. One's got the edge, you know when you cut paper, cut cardstock, and on the reverse side you get the little ridge. I want that on the back. So, alright, just put our country fair sign up in line with that photo. Our little cabbage, lettuce, whatever it's called. Now I did fussy cut all those elements. I forgot to show you. Here's the tray. So that sheet that had all those elements on it, I fussy cut them all out. Take a look at them. Hang on a minute, let me move some things aside. Look at all these. You get so many elements from that one piece of paper. So that was on the back of the, I call it a title page, but it's the front page of the suite, the collection. And it's got obviously the name and all that stuff, and then the thin strips of each of the papers, like a sampling of the papers on the front. On the reverse side of that was all these images that you can fussy cut out. Now, see, there's the front side of the paper. You could bring out a tool like your brother Scan and Cut and cut all them out. But what I did is I just sat and watched TV and just cut them all out with scissors. They're not that hard, and I'll give you a tip about cutting the flowers out in a minute. But look at all these. Aren't they cute? Oh, they're so nice. And these houses, oh, so cute. There's a shovel, tomatoes, another sign. And like when I was putting this page together last night, I was looking at these and going, oh, they're too cute to use. It's a stupid idea, seriously. Oh, radishes, flowers, what more, with a capsicum like that, and other flowers. So when you're cutting out the flowers, you'll see like these ones are really, really fine. Don't try and attempt to cut in around those fine ones. Just go around the whole thing as close as you can. And if you do that consistently in wherever there's some fine stuff, like here, you've got all these little fine leaves, or these ones, don't try and cut in at each of them. If you go around them with like a close border, then these ones won't look odd when you cut them like that as well. So you don't like look at something like this and go, oh, I have to go in all those little things. No, you don't need to. Just go around the general outline of those elements and it will still look okay. And then this one as well. See this one? I didn't go in here between those leaves and this one. I could have, but it's like, no. Let's just do a general outline around them. And some of them had a little bit sticking out. I think if I show you on this bigger one, one of these had, which one was it? One of these had something sticking out on the side. It was like a little wispy bit, so I just cut that off. It's like, well, no, it's not worth my sanity to go around that. And I think also on one of them, this has a wispy bit here that I managed to cut around, but I think on one of them I actually chopped it off because I'd been fussy cutting a while and I cut out these flower bunches last. And it was like, yeah, no, my hands are getting sore, so let's just chop that off. It might have been out here somewhere. I went, no, I'm not doing that really fine one this time around. So I chopped it off, and you wouldn't know. Like, so don't stress about cutting out these things. And fussy cutting things like this. Alright, you've got this white space here in the handles. You can get an X-Acto knife out and cut them out. But I don't like X-Acto knives that much. And seriously, when you put this on a page, you're going to layer it anyway. And no one's really going to notice those white pieces. So, and if you're doing it on a white cardstock, it doesn't matter anyway. No one's going to care. So, when you're cutting things out, just leave a thin white border. And here as well, I just sort of went around this. I didn't go in the indents on these petals, but it still looks okay. Like, you know, don't stress. With this one, when I was cutting this one out, there was a white bit in there. This was easy to get out because these were joined, but I just cut up between them because I knew they weren't going to come separated because they're joined at the top by all these leaves. So then I just cut around these to separate them and then got my scissors in there and cut out that space. So that's quite easily done. I mean, you could do that on the basket. You could trim here and then cut out there, and then that is just going to lay flat down again because it's connected to the leaves. Same with this one, you could come in from this side and trim that. Actually, let's do that. While I'm talking about it, let me show you what I mean. Right, so let's hope I don't stuff it up. Alright, so I'm just going to get in there. So I've just cut this bit now. This is separate. And with fussy cutting, you move the scissors. I mean, you move the paper, not the scissors. Jeez. So then I'm just going to cut in there. Now it's a bit tricky the last little bit here because it's quite hard to get into. But there we go. I've just cut out the center now. Can you see that? That handle. So let's do this one the same. I will cut from, I think, the veggie side because that will be too noticeable a break. So I'm going to cut in here. Up around the handle. Now I might go this way. Around the handles, just easier to see what I'm cutting. So I'm moving the paper, not the scissors. As you move the paper, you're closing the scissors ever so slightly so that it's cutting. Oops. Alright, and then I'm going to take that out, and there we go. Our handles are now inserts, our handles are cut out. So that's a cool trick you can do if you want to. You don't have to. I'll just roll something on my face. Alright, so you got tomatoes and carrots and garlic and gherkins, or gherkins I think they are. Cucumbers maybe. Pumpkin. Handles of the bag. I could probably do the same here. Bit reluctant too. I would have to cut down here. I could try that. As long as I don't cut this side, I only cut the one side, then I should be able to cut in. Now I'm just going to go roughly around these tops. Not going to be perfect, but we're going to get the white out, so. And as long as I don't cut the handles on this side, I should be right. Oh, this is very tricky, trying to get into here. Let's go around from this way. Alright, now I need to do a little bit down here, I think. Alright, so now I still have the white in here. So this is where it gets really tricky. If this is too much, what you can do is cut the handles off. So it will still look okay. People will go, what is that? You can go, well, that's a stalk of something, a vegetable or something. Like, if people are looking at your stuff that closely, then, you know, they need to take a hike, really. Right, this is a little bit trickier. This one, it's not unachievable. Alright, so his idea was to do this. Right, done that bit. And now I have very little to hang on to here, so see what we can do. Now, I don't normally use the tip of the scissors, but this time, just to get in there and get started, I needed to. Now this is fiddly. If you don't like fussy cutting, you would not be doing this, for sure. There we go. Now when you were to put this on, if you just glued that down, make sure those handles stay in place. And there you have some die cut handles. Now I didn't do this edge of this handle very well, so let's go back around that and bring it in a little bit closer and a little bit neater. And there we go. The handles of a bag are cut out. Alright, so these are all the elements that you get on the page. There's a lot of embellishments. You don't need to buy another pack of embellishments, but they are available. I do have them in my store if you want them. Some people don't like cutting out, so will not use these. Right, this here on this beetroot is a little bit fine. I'm not even going to attempt to cut them out. So that's one that you would get your X-Acto knife out if you really, really wanted to do it. Cut them out. For me, they're staying. And again, here the wheel and the handle is like, yeah, no, not going to. I can put a flower spray over that section so that you don't see a lot of that. And the handle, I can put something over to cover that as well. Yeah, not into fussy cutting that much. So that was a little side note. But yeah, they're the elements that are on the back of that page. So let's get back to this page. So I was sticking on our little cabbage slash lettuce. If your double-sided tape hangs over the edge, cut it too long, just roll it back a little bit, it'll be fine. Right, that's just gonna pop under there. Our love heart. Now this has a gooby on it as well, I noticed. I need the scissors back, I just put away. See the little bit that sticks out from the die cut pages? Okay, just going to tuck that in, maybe over there. And then we had our leaves. Which I'm going to put together with a glue dot. Oh my gosh, now I can't pick them up. So fine. Maybe it's my fingers. Doesn't matter what arrangement they're in. It's just a cluster of leaves. And there we go. Now that's hanging off a little bit, so we'll see how that ends up when I go to put that in the page protector. Okay, let's get this one in because I keep dumping my rubbish on these elements over here on the side. So if you're trying to conserve your products, you could cut this in half because I am going to only use, like, you're only going to see a little bit of it, but I have a whole crate full of Project Life cards. So I need to use them, and I'm not going to conserve them. And if you conserve all your supplies, then you know you don't have an excuse to buy new ones. Because I cannot fit any more in my crafting space of supplies. Seriously, I have so much. And I probably put tape too close to the edge of these, so I am going to have to cut it. Oh, bugger. Bugger. Alright. But I'm just going to throw the other half away. I'm using my good scissors, so hopefully I'm not cutting through the glue. Right, that goes in the bin. Don't stick. Alright, there we go. Is that straight? I don't know. See, I think I had these photos over that way more before when I was working out what I was doing. That is stuck there, so that's where that's staying. Okay, so we have our capsicum. Just poking out there. Our love heart. And then our leaves. Let's see if I can glue them on here. I hate these new way these glue dots are. Oh. Much rather them on the roll side rather than the flap side. I find them so much harder to use on this side. Maybe I'm just a bit challenged with my hands and fingers. Oh, see? So awkward. Alright. Now I'm going to tuck this under here a little bit. There we go. That glue dot is showing, is it? No. Fine. Okay, and then we just have our title down here. I'm just going to put a little bit on this because I want to be able to tuck things under it. This is so old. This is Indie Chick, Ginger Relax, title from My Mind's Eye, 2012. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Alright, that probably is crooked. There we go. Is that straight? I've got it lined up, but to me it looks crooked, but you know. Alright, so then our tag, which I'm just going to tuck in there. No rhyme or reason for the placement, really. I just put it in there. Alright, our vegetables. So you can see that's the back of the front page. Made in Poland, acid lignin free. Yeah. Oh gosh. Just going to pop our fruit and vegetables there. Don't want them over my daughter's face. There we go. Cut the globules off our tag. Globules of our heart. Just notice how stained my thumbnail is. Sorry about that. We made a sweet chili jam yesterday, my daughter and I. She's not this old now, she's 17. We had my son planted a chili plant. Oh my goodness, it was prolific with its chilies. The rest of the vegetable patch had gone to, yeah, buggery. But the chilies, oh my gosh, they had exploded. We had so many chilies. We picked probably 20 odd chilies. Yep. He's the only one in the house who eats chilies. Like, what am I going to do with all these chilies? So my daughter found a recipe for sweet chili jam. It was so much fun to make. It's just chilies, capsicum, white wine vinegar, what else? Sugar and jam setter. That was it. It was so easy, so much fun to do. Right, now I want to put these just tucking out. Okay, so for some reason my phone stopped recording sound at this point, so I have to do a voiceover here. I can't remember what I was talking about at the time. I think I was saying that I was struggling with these vellum leaves, which were not playing nice. So, and I noticed that sometimes it goes a bit blurry. Sorry about that. It just must be my Wi-Fi. Now I know it wasn't my son using the Wi-Fi this time around playing games. So, but yeah, sorry. I need to find another way to record that it doesn't keep going blurry. Alright, so I'm just positioning these vegetables back in place after I put those leaves in place. And I have no idea what I know I was talking the whole time, but I have no idea what I was saying. You know. Alright, so I think I'm nearly done in this layout, just positioning everything, and I have a feeling that I'm just about done. I've decided to put my journaling down the bottom, and I'm going to do the finishing touch, which are the, what are they called? Sequins. So these are the Artistry Bloom self-adhesive sequins from Stampin' Up, and they are really, really pretty. And I do still have a lot of Stampin' Up stock, so I will use that up, and you'll see that from time to time, even though I'm no longer a demonstrator. But you use what you have. You know, I'm not into buying stuff just for the sake of buying. I use what I've got. It doesn't mean I don't still buy, but I don't buy as much as I used to. So just adding a few of these. I will, in my online store shortly, be stocking some embellishments. So keep a lookout and see what new comes up into store. And there we go. We are finished the layout. So that's the first in a series on using the Mintay Country Fair collection. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming up. And the next video will be using a fancy paper and cutting part of it to make it work with your photos. So this one, I used a different paper to what I had intended. I'd intended to use this green crackle, but I turned the paper over and decided to use the outline of the border. Was going to use the green crackle in the middle, changed my mind, and just use the patterned border. And I think that's really pretty. So thanks again for watching, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.